So what's the craziest story you have from working on the Hollywood Boulevard? That is a crazy ass place to just
Honestly,
be like walking around like.
I had so many, but one of the, I think I told you
What's
this
your
one.
most memorable story?
One of my most memorable ones is, I think I told you about this one. It's like I think I was working with Starline as a tour salesman for 3-4 months at this point, and there's a metro station on Hollywood and Highlands, like it's the metro station in Hollywood, so it's like there's so many people going through there all the time. It's very busy, and that was my position, where I would like have to fucking wheel a cart in front of the metro station and be like, tours like all day.
I can't imagine. I can't fucking imagine you going up to people like.
Honestly, you know what made it fun was working.
That is so funny though.
It can get like very boring and stuff, like, but what made it fun was working with my friends. Like I was working with Alan and stuff, and
Fun, yeah.
whenever I was like stationed with Alan, like we would like turn it into a game where like if someone came up, we would be like, yo, talk to him in an English accent, and he would be like, hello sir, like would you like to take a tour today? And we would like try to make sales using different pitches, and you kind of like, and it teaches you so much, because literally I would probably talk to like 200 to 300 people a day, and each person I'd be like, what's up dude, how's it going, or hey, how's it going, like, and I would have to talk to so many people every day.
Dude, that's what I love about doing hair, because it's like I feel so awkward coming up to people like, hi, I'm Riley, like, you want,
so you like
I'm gonna
practice
take you
social
back.
skills.
Yeah, exactly. It's so uncomfortable.
That's the reason why
like,
I got that
it
job.
is, yes, exactly. I remember you telling me that, and that's why like I really want to get into doing hair, because I just like, you know,
socializing more. Yeah,
exactly.
I remember before I worked at Starline, both my job, I worked for like 2 or 3 years and like in 2 different office jobs before that, where I didn't talk to anyone except over the phone.
It's so boring,
and I hated it. I was like, dude, I want to work in a restaurant. I want to work somewhere where I talk to people.
And it's like you want something busy where it's like your day's gonna go by fast.
Yeah, exactly. All that. But all right, so basically back to my story.
Yeah, sorry,
so I would move my cart in front of this metro station. I would be there all day selling tours, and then next to me there would be like other people who would sell like that also work with the mall, who'd have their own carts, and they would sell like either like hats or fucking like candy and like all these like random like shit for tourists. And there was like this chick who was next to me who was like selling hats, and this girl, actually I remember her from when I was a kid. I remember she was like some older girl that like hung out in my neighborhood, and I remember I saw her, I was like, what the fuck, she works here too? And then anyways, I'm like,
the baddie from the block.
I don't think she was a baddie, but anyway, she was just like some girl I recognized. But anyways, I'm like chilling there working, selling tours, and there was like
You're
some
like, Jenny, hi.
no, there was some homeless guy who was like some homeless guy that I recognize this homeless guy, because I lived in Hollywood and I skate down the streets all the time, so I see this guy all the time. And I always thought he was just like some homeless guy who minded his own business. I never thought he'd be like this type of way, but he was just chilling there or whatever. I'm like selling tours, minding my own business, and then he starts like walking up to this girl, and then he starts like yelling at her, and he was like, fuck you, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I think
like he was like doing, I forgot what he was mad about, but he was yelling at her, where he was like getting super close to her, where it seemed like he was gonna like hurt her or something. And I was like looking around, and everyone's like watching, and no one's saying anything, and I was like, bro, like why aren't I doing anything right now? And I walked up, and I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, get the fuck out of here, like stop fucking with her, blah blah. And she turned to me, and she's like, no, don't worry about it. She's like, this guy does this all the time, like he's gonna go away, blah blah. And to me it looked super bad and aggressive. So I was like, fuck you, dude, get out of here. And then he like turned all that aggression towards me, where he's like, fuck you, like I'm gonna fucking kill you. He's like, I have a fucking knife, I'm gonna stab you right now, I'm gonna fucking kill you, blah blah. And I was like, all right, whatever, blah blah. We were just like talking shit to each other. He goes back to his like bag where he was sitting and takes out a knife and starts showing me the knife. And I'm like, we're like 15-20 feet apart. I'm like at my fucking car, like holding the tours. I'm like back at my thing, like holding the things again. And he's like showing me the knife. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I'm gonna stab you, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, at this point, I'm like,
God, babe.
yeah. And at this point, I'm like, oh, but I wasn't, honestly,
you're a hero.
Honestly, I wasn't worried, because he's like a homeless crackhead, where I knew that I could probably just kick this guy in the face now.
But he did have a weapon, and he was harassing that girl.
Exactly.
Like,
and he did have a weapon.
You are a hero.
So, oh my, all right, chill. But anyway, so I'm like tripping out like over what I should do at this point, because he's really like threatening me. So I call my manager, Alex. I'm like, yo, Alex, this homeless man's like threatening me. He says he's gonna stab me. He has a knife. Like he's showing me the knife. Like, should I call the police? Like, what should I do? He's like, wait right there, I'll be down there in 1 second. And then I wait. He comes like over a minute or two later, and then he's like, what's going on? You're like, and I explained to him the whole situation. I show him the homeless guy who's still there, like, and he already put the knife away, but he's like still like there all angry and shit. And I'm like, yo, this guy was like holding a knife saying he's gonna kill me, and he's like he's like literally right there, he's not moving anywhere. And my manager Alex, he's like, oh, this guy, he's here all the time, he's like, don't worry about him, it's gonna be fine, blah 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 blah. And I'm like dude,
bruh, I saw a knife.
Exactly. I was like, dude, I saw a knife, bro. I'm telling him, I'm like trying to explain to him like logically, like, dude, this guy has a knife, he's threatening me. And he's like, no, it's gonna be fine, blah blah blah. And I'm like telling him, can you like move my positions like to another place where I don't have to deal with this guy? And he's like, how long until your break? And then I'm like, oh, 30 minutes. He's like, yeah, just take your break, and then you're gonna like, we'll put you somewhere else.
Oh my god.
And then I was just like, bro, like my manager did not
Give
fucking,
a fuck.
he did not fucking care at all. But I remember just that day I was like,
well, that just goes to
like,
show
fuck.
they've dealt with a lot of shit, because if
Oh
he's a
my
normal guy,
God.
just imagine the other shit they've seen.
You know what's funny? There's actually a couple viral prank videos on YouTube, where I forgot who the content creators were, but there's a couple viral prank videos where they're pranking people, and a couple of the people they're pranking in the video are my managers. This guy called Muhammad and his wife or whatever. And I remember watching this thinking like, oh my god, these fools have to deal with crackheads, tourists, content
YouTubers.
creators, like all day, just random fucking shit.